If you frequent social media, then you for sure heard of Sangria and Summer Hammer from Lorenzo Pazzaglia. But is one of summer's most talked about fragrance actually overhyped? Come back and I'll tell you why I think I made a mistake putting this into my collection. But you gotta come back. Come back. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video, Smell Good with Jenna. I'm of course Jenna. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're into fragrance reviews, layering combos, and just smelling like you got your life put together, then you know what you gotta do. Stay blessed, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So you already know the drill. I love Lorenzo Pazzaglia fragrances, and I'll be honest, I don't hear it too much about his fragrances on YouTube, but then again, between you and I don't be on YouTube as much like I used to be. But on Instagram and TikTok, all you hear is people talking about Lorenzo Pazzaglia fragrances. So naturally, I had to get up on his fragrances and I fell in love. Specifically though, when the summer was approaching, all I heard was Summer Hammer, and I actually have it right here, Sangria. And if you haven't seen my review already, go check it out. But these were the two fragrances that I constantly heard that you needed in your collection, specifically for the summertime. So naturally, since you guys know I'm a huge fan of the house, I had to get up on that, and I was able to snag Sangria. I can't remember where I did. Watch the video, my review, you know where I got it. I mentioned it there. But Summer Hammer, for whatever reason, I wasn't able to, not for some reason, it's constantly sold out. You go to these different discounted websites, a lot of times Lorenzo Pazzaglia fragrances, specifically Summer Hammer and Sangria, was constantly sold out. So again, toxic, irrational. I'm like, you know what? I gotta make sure I grab it, because if I don't get it, I'm never gonna be able to get it and partake and smell it. So Scent Split, shout out to Scent Split. I typically will buy my fragrances from there because they always send me discounts. They sent me a 15% discount. They had it in stock. I was able to purchase it. I didn't open it. I got it, I think, I want to say a little bit before the summer started. So like around, obviously, the springtime. And I was excited because, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the house. So I unboxed it and I was like, you know, I'm not blown away like I'm typically am. With Lorenzo Pazzaglia fragrances, the expectation is high for me. This one, it's nice, disclaimer, and we'll get a little bit more into it, but I wasn't wowed by it. So I was a little disappointed just because this was a little underwhelming to me. Now, maybe I needed to test it out on my skin. I don't know, but I wasn't feeling it. And I felt like I made a mistake and that this was probably going to be my least favorite fragrance so far from Lorenzo Pazzaglia. All right, so let's jump into the notes. As always, you know, I'll put them on the screen. But some of the more prominent notes we have are mango, pineapple, and coconut. Now, I wish I can paint a descriptive picture when it comes to Summer Hammer, because listen, if you've been watching my reviews as of late, I've been knocking the descriptions out of the park, if I say so myself, right? Right. But in all seriousness, the reason why I feel like I can't paint a descriptive picture is just because I feel this is your average tropical scent. It's a beautiful scent, don't get me wrong. It's nothing wrong with it per se, but I've been spoiled when it comes to Lorenzo Pazzaglia fragrances because they're so unique and so many different notes in the fragrance. Actually, I don't even think this has that many notes compared to his other fragrances, so that's a little shocking as well. So yeah, I'm so used to having such an array of notes that this is a little underwhelming to me. So it just, like I said, it smells like your average tropical scent. You get the mango in here, the pineapple, those two notes are very prominent. I will say there's something about this, and we'll talk about it in a second in regards to when you'd wear it and who's it for. But there's something in here that makes this perfectly unisex, where I can see why a lot of men have been raving about this one. So I don't know if it's not the rum note that's in here. Maybe the vetiver that's in here, or maybe even the bergamot in the opening that gives it that slight zestiness when you spray it and you smell it up close. But as you wear it on you, that you don't really get that. It's just, again, for me, it comes off just a basic tropical scent. Safe, nothing wrong with it, but if you want something different from your average tropical fruity summer scent, Summer Hammer misses the mark when it comes to being unique. So when would I wear Summer Hammer and who's it for? As I mentioned, this is easygoing. It's a safe blind buy. You wear this to work. You wear this running errands. You wear this picking up your kids, going out. And when I say going out, more so shopping. Nothing like if you're going out. Like, I wouldn't wear this on a date and think I'm going to make an impression, or to a party you really want to turn heads. I necessarily wouldn't wear this. This is a compliment getter. Don't get me wrong. But it's a compliment getter in the sense that it's safe. So it's something that you've smelled before and it's like, oh, this person smells nice. When I mentioned earlier that something about this, it is somewhat masculine leaning, only because I think maybe, like I mentioned, the bergamot that gave it that little zestiness, that bite in the beginning that doesn't last too long, and you can probably only smell it when you sniff your hand as opposed to just smelling it in the air. That vetiver that's in there might give it a little bit more of a masculine vibe to it as well, but it's perfectly unisex. Ladies, you know we love fruity tropical scents. It has white florals in there, so that gives it that more of a feminine lean to this, but it's, in my opinion, right down the middle, unisex. Okay, so I must admit, with the longevity and performance of Summer Hammer, you get your money's worth. This is a beast fragrance. It'll definitely fill up the room. You'll get compliments. Actually, one of my coworkers earlier today told me I smelled good, and I had the fan on, so it was definitely blowing. And then one of my staff members was like, boss, I know you were lurking. And I'm like, that's a weird thing to say. I was not lurking, but he knew I was in the area, in the vicinity, because of my fragrance. So people are going to smell you. Honestly, I probably would have smelled this even more on myself had I sprayed a little bit more, but I was being mindful just for the simple fact that I know with Lorenzo Pazzaglia fragrances, they're beast mode. So there's that. But I wasn't even being mindful because by lunch, I wound up spraying more on me. So that went out the window. But had I sprayed a lot from the get-go, I wouldn't have had to retouch. So I have to give credit where it's due. It's a nice scent. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad by any means. But credit in regards to you'll get some bang out of your buck when it comes to performance and longevity. Lorenzo Pazzaglia always knocks it out of the park with that. Okay, so let's get into the layering combo. Woo, my favorite part of the video. I'm actually very excited to show you guys my layering combo just because, again, I felt I was a little underwhelmed by the scent itself, so it definitely helps to just make it my own. As always, you know I start off with an unscented soap, right? You guys said unscented soap, right? I'm sorry, I'm corny sometimes. But after that, I use Hemp's Sweet Pineapple and Honey Melon. Now, the reason why I decided to go with a sweet pineapple scented body wash instead of mango, because one, I don't have a mango body wash, as I've mentioned before, and I was super lazy in getting a specific one from Bath and Body Works. So either way, that's neither here nor there. But also, when I spray this, I get the mango more than the pineapple. So I wanted to have my layering combo where we pushed out the pineapple note. So I used that. Then to continue to get that pineapple note out, I almost spilled this, Tree Hut's Pineapple Shea Sugar Scrub. Continue that pineapple vibe going on. Then I use the matching body lotion or moisturizer, Sweet Pineapple and Honey Melon from Hemp's. And then, what did I use? I used from Blanc & Noir Skin. I blanked out for a second. Come on, Jenna. I use Blanc de Noir Skincare Mango Pineapple. Makes sense. Mango Pineapple in Summer Hammer. And then obviously I sprayed this bad boy on me. So that was just, as I've mentioned in other videos, I like to, when I'm testing out a fragrance, I don't like to do a full-blown layering combo. Just use different products that's going to push out the notes. Now, the second time I wore this, so actually the couple times that I wore this, I think if you're a guy watching this and you're interested in a layering combo, I think this would be killer on you guys. And then ladies, we got something, and or interchangeably, right? Because as I always say, it doesn't matter who you are, we rock whatever. But I really think as a woman, if you find this a little bit masculine leaning, because like I said, the bergamot in here, gave it that hint of masculinity in there, and the vetiver, I would pair it with G. Giardini's Di Toscana Bora Bora. It shares similar notes of coconut. What else? The white florals for sure. I think, no, it doesn't have vetiver in it. Or does it? I don't know. It has coconut. Needless to say, a great pairing. So to really push that tropical vibes, it's really, really nice. Then the other fragrance that I decided to layer with, I think actually this is my favorite. But see, I love feminine leaning scents, but I also, something about masculine leaning scents, it just, especially when you can really zhuzh it up, it just drives me crazy. I decided to layer this with Killian's Moonlight in Heaven. You got mango in here, you got ginger, lemon, what else? Rice. That's my first introduction to a rice note, was in here. And then also vetiver. This combo is killer. Now, I wouldn't spray it. So like I wouldn't spray Summer Hammer and then Moonlight in Heaven right on top. I would just use Summer Hammer as my base, and then in different parts of my body, like my shoulder and maybe the back of my back, I would spray Moonlight in Heaven, and it's just a gorgeous trail. You get the sweetness, but then you get that creaminess and coziness of Moonlight in Heaven, and then that mango note that's in here, that it's toned down. I love these two together. Beautiful, beautiful pairing. And with Bora Bora, listen, this is really, really nice too, but I hate to say basic, but it's just like this one is more unique and mysterious in my opinion, layering these two together. So that's my layering combo. Final thoughts on Summer Hammer. It's a beautiful scent, don't get me wrong. But out of the two popular fragrances that's been going viral from Lorenzo Pazzaglia in regards to his summer fragrances, Summer Hammer and Sangria, I'll pick Sangria hands down any day. I feel like with Summer Hammer, I will definitely keep this in my collection, but if I was to run out of it, I never will, because I have a gazillion one fragrances at this point. I wouldn't re-up or repurchase this. So there's that. But I think one would love this if you like Herbapure or didn't like Herbapure and found it a little bit unwearable. I think this is a good alternative, specifically for the guys. So it has a space for someone. I'll definitely rock it, but again, I was a little underwhelmed with the scent just because I'm so familiar and really have gravitated to Lorenzo Pazzaglia fragrances being unique. But I definitely check it out. It's a safe blind buy, easy reach. You can't go wrong during the summer with this fragrance. So that is my video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're familiar with Summer Hammer. You have to be. It's all over the place on social media. But if you don't know, let me know if you're interested in picking it up. Stay blessed. Like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, the best compliment one can get is that you smell so good.